I've seen a lot of people lately on LinkedIn and Facebook saying that their stress level is too high. It's freaking them out. It's causing them symptoms. One person said that they are having symptoms with breathing just because of the level of stress that they had, and they got diagnosed with anxiety, just regular anxiety. And I've also had a similar experience, and I developed something that might be able to help if you're in that type of situation. I also had a friend go through it, and she had her hands shut down. Her hands actually physically shut down, and she went to the hospital for it. And she was diagnosed with just this was an anxiety attack. And she didn't believe them at first. And so I said, get on the call with me. Let's see if this thing that I did for myself can help you. So I want to take you guys through it and see if it helps you. First, get a piece of paper and a pen. Literal physical paper. You cannot do this. It does not work on computer, no matter how much we want to believe it. It does not work on computer. Our brains are not designed for computer-based information. It's seen as temporary and fleeting. We have to have real physical paper. So trust me on this. Do not use a computer at all. Go get yourself some paper right now. Pause this and go track some down. It can even be an envelope. All right, so here's what you do to start. And I'm going to be reading this off my computer here. It is stronger if it's done on paper, as I said, way stronger. Don't even bother doing it on a computer or a phone or a tablet. It won't have anywhere near the same benefit. It has to be physical. Carve it into stone if you have to. Got the paper and pen? Great. We're going to take the edge off first and foremost. I want you to write down all of your problems, everything stressing you, everything just like piled up on your back, on your mind. It feels like a fog and overwhelm and everything. Just start taking what you know you can see it is one reason for that stress, and just start and just write it down. And all you have to do is just keep at it until you feel like you have all of the things. Go through your job, your spouse, your kids, hobbies, car, school. If you've got like other things going on, outside stressors, family, and I don't want you to list these in categories, not just job, a hobby, spouse, kids. I want you to name names. Put some names down. You got a spouse, write their name, adjust them as one of the problems. Now, what the problem is, we're not going to define that yet. Just write down those names, those situations, those very specific things that is causing you to feel like you're being piled on. Taxes, government, Ukraine stress, whatever is going on that you feel like it's just piled on you in some way, that needs to be written down. You need to pause it from here, that's fine. Okay, do you think you have all of them written down? Totally cool. There's probably more that you haven't yet to identify, and it's very cool for you to update this list. That's what my friend did. She ended up having 26 things on her list, the one that had the hands shut down. She started out by listing 22 with me on our call. So she identified 4 later on. Perfectly fine. Step 2 is very simple. I want you to go and I want you to give each one of those things a 1 to 10 number. Each one individually gets its own 1 to 10 of how stressful it is. 1 is more like worry, just like a light worry, barely on your radar. 2 is a okay worry. 3 is a pretty big worry. 4 is starting to get into the little bit of, shoot, I need to do something about this soon. 5 is more like, I've got to get this done. I got to get this done. Or I need to figure out something to do with this. 6 and 7, 8, it just piles up. 10 is you're in front of a freight train. It's coming at you. It's about to hit, and you're standing there frozen. Give each one a 1 to 10 rating without comparing them to anything else. Each one individual. Even if they're like semi-related, doesn't matter. 1 to 10 specific rating for each one. Pause here while you do that. Okay. Now, I just had to go down my page here. Now, I want to give you some info. People start suffering health effects from stress when 5 to 6 of these exist. If you have more than 5, you're going to start feeling like mental effects. People will start feeling body effects at more than 14, sometimes less. If you've got more than 14, you're experiencing symptoms like crazy, and if you're having issues like my friend did with her hand shutting down, that's why. You've got more than 14 things, definitely that's the reason. That's when your body starts shutting down, and that number is a little iffy. It could be even 12. And depending on how many of those 1 to 10s. So that number is a little iffy. If you have a little bit less and you're experiencing it, it's probably because you have more 10s on your list. That's why you're experiencing what you are. The fog starts coming in at more than 6, and then it feels like actual weight on you from there. And it becomes too much of a weight for us to handle at more than 14 or 12 to 14. And that's when we literally start shutting down, because we're literally under tons of weight, a physical weight. Like imagine being smashed on your back with weight on you. You can only carry so much. Stresses act like weights, actual pound weights that are being put on us after a certain level. At first, it's just mental stress and mental weight, and then it turns physical. So if you have more than 14, you've got 2,000 pounds on your back that needs to be taken off. You're experiencing the signs of being crushed by that actual physical weight on you. Our brain cannot tell the difference between mental weight and physical weight after so many issues have come up. And the system that we're in, the country the way we have it right now, literally is designed to put more pressure onto us. Everything is our fault. Everything is stuff we haven't done. Everything is stuff we haven't learned. Everything is stuff we have not done correctly. Everything is, it's always our fault. The system is literally trying to make it everything our fault so it doesn't have to take responsibility for what it is actually doing. And we all know what it's actually doing. None of us are stupid. We know what's going on, but we're too weighed down to be able to tackle it in a healthy way. So this is thankfully changeable. This is easily changeable, but it does take you doing it over the course of a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, however long it takes you to deal with all the stressors. So now I'm going to give you the step 3 to this that is going to give you the little bit of stress relief. You're going to start noticing changes after a few days where you feel a little bit better, and then more as you do this more often. So make this a thing that you do every single day in the morning, or at night, planning for the next day, and then you do have to follow through and do them. So here's the first step to it. Take one of those stressors that's above an 8 on your list. Next to that number, I want you to write down 1 or 2 small things that you can do. 1 or 2 tiny steps that you can do now, or the next day, start on them, that will reduce that stress number by just 2 points. That's all you have to do. That 8 or 10 that you have, write down 1 or 2 little small things that you can do that are big enough to reduce that stress level number by 2 points. I do not want you to do this for every single number. Prioritize stuff you can do right now, stuff you can do today, stuff you can do tomorrow morning, stuff you can do in the next day. Definitely in the next day, nothing more than that. So if you've got a situation that you can let's just say you have to get those dishes done and it's weighing on you and you've been unable to do it with all the stresses of everything else. Okay, so you have a dishes done and that stress level is about let's say that's a 6 at the moment. You can take that down by 2 points by doing 1 load. Okay, doing 1 load of dishes for now. Boom. There's your one thing that you can do, and it'll reduce that 6 down to a 4. If that's all you can start on for the day, great. I want you to do only 2 of those per day. Take 2 of the items on your entire list, write down 1 or 2 things that you can do that'll reduce that by 2 points, and do those 2 only. Just those 2. Don't, if you can do more, because it's more physical and it's just a matter of just getting a kick to go do it, sure, you can do a little bit more, but don't do many more than 2 a day. There's a reason for this. You don't want to feel like you have to get all of the stuff done in one day in order to accomplish your goals. Make your goals reasonable. 2 a day of doing a small thing with 2 points, reducing the stresses by 2 points, that's perfectly reasonable. That's something that everybody can do, even with all those stresses on them. Just 2 little tiny things. That's going to help. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to get all of this done, that you're going to want to panic and be like, I need to get all of these done as much as I can in one day. Don't. 2 a day. If they're more physical based, like chores or something, sure, 3. But don't do too many more than that. I don't want you stressing out, because that's going to add another stressor onto your list, a stressor that you're putting on your own back, and I don't want that for you. That's a thing that can actually cause you to have more of a paralyzation. So you have to force yourself only 2, maybe 3 a day max. Now I want you to go tackle those things. Once you have gone and tackled those things, then I want you to do another 2 on your list first. They have to be written down on your list. Another 2 things that you can tackle that will reduce the stress level by 2 points. When you have done the 2 things on your list every day, cross off that thing. Cross off the thing that you have already accomplished. And then right next to it, another 1 or 2 steps for each that you can do that next day. Then cross it off once you've done them. Then go to another one, write another 2 things, write the 2-point reduction steps for each. And when you're done, cross it off. Go to sleep, wake up again, repeat. Here's the funny thing. If you do that in that specific way, number 1, it gives you the feeling of accomplishment, that you have accomplished something. It allows your brain to relax and realize, yay, I have done my things. I can relax on that now a little bit. The next day, you do your more tasks. Oh, yay, I have done my things. Now I can kind of relax and celebrate a little bit. Here's the really fun part of this. This is the benefit of doing it this way. When you're doing those steps, after about a week, maybe even 3 days or 4 days of doing that, I want you to reevaluate all those numbers. After 3 or 4 days, up to a week, go through and reevaluate your stressors. Cross off all the numbers, even if you haven't tackled them yet. Cross off all the numbers and assign them a new number. Even if you haven't tackled the stress yet, I bet they will have fallen naturally. They won't be gone, but they will have fallen by a significant amount. A very significant number change will happen, and you'll wonder why. That is a stress compounding thing. When we have multiple stressors on us, they tend to compound upon each other. And really, the stressor, if it was just alone, wouldn't be so stressful on its own. But compounded by all of the other things on top of it, all the weights on your back, it's making them larger elephants than what they are. So if by taking down a few of those other stressors, while you're taking those weights off, other weight starts falling off. Because it's not on there in a stable way. It's not stacked up very stably on our backs. It's literally, when you take one off, another one will drop off. Another little 2 pounds of weight or something. 2 points of weight will fall off from another category that you hadn't even tackled yet. They compound on each other and make each other bigger than what they are. And when you start tackling them, the other stressors become more tackleable. and they start falling off in weight and importance and drive and stress, and fog starts falling off. You want to reevaluate these every week. Oh, the whole thing, reevaluate every week. And when you're able to cross off a stressor entirely because you've dealt with it, how good do you think that will feel when that one you just crossed off? And now you have, if you started with 20, now you have 18. Now you have 16. Now you have 15. Now you suddenly have 13 because 3 of them fell off because you were able to tackle the main underlying issue or another issue that was causing all of it, and all the rest were starting to fall off. That's amazing. More will need to be added as time goes on. This is an ongoing task that you can complete within a month, but more stressors do kind of come on. Just life happens. Suddenly you got a car tire issue that you have to fix. Okay, that goes on as a stressor. Assign it a new number and do the same steps. You can take them on as you can. This is what I call the reduce your stress levels in 1 minute. Although it takes you a few minutes to start up at the beginning, but it literally takes you 1 minute to start on them throughout the day, plan your day. So I just call it the reduce your stress levels in 1 minute. I don't have an official name for it or anything. I don't sell this. I created this for myself because I was extremely stressed at one point, and I got to the point of a mental breakdown, and I realized something was wrong. So I needed to tackle this on. So I developed this, and I've just been telling people ever since. I hope it helps you. Reach out if you need help, especially like if you're dealing with stuff with job stuff in terms of like trying to figure out how to get a better job. That's what I do as a career consultant. I don't deal with the stresses and stuff like this as much, but if I can help you at least in that way a little bit more, I am very happy to do so because, I get people better jobs than what they expect. But still, just wanted to put that out there. I do help people with the jobs thing more. I just hope this little stress thing helps you out and that you get better and are able to start being clear-headed and work through your problems a lot easier. All right, I'll let you off for now. Go to it. See you later.